message from a new world I'd never known. Something about it felt like it'd been waiting my whole life. Is this home? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven's not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? I can't help but think that it's meant to be, that I'm finally right where I'm supposed to. If I let you into the secret, would you listen? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven's not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? And before too long, I found where I belong. I can hear it, I can hear it, oh, I can't stop the rush. Every note I touch, I can feel it saving me. Tell me, can you hear the symphony?
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Pixel Focus Podcast, where we provide insights and updates in the world of virtual photography. I'm In7 Specters, I'm your host, and I'm joined once again with my amazing co-host, Sun OG. Go ahead and say hi, man.
Hello, hello, hello. Sun OG in the building. You know, the co-host here for Pixel Focus Podcast. We're here for episode 2. Super excited as always. And 7, what we got talking about today?
We are going to be jumping into talking a bit of Last of Us 2 Remastered, Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus, also a bit of Suicide Squad, but mainly on, with these updates and remasters, how will this affect virtual photography as a whole? And yeah, so it's going to be a fun discussion there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And today, just so that we can be able to have a little bit more insight on the matter, just in regards to how it's going to affect virtual photography, being the community and as a whole in general, we have our special guest, Retro, that guy Retro, my boy,
Woo!
my dude, my homie. I love him to death. He's the best. And he is a Spider-Man, God of War, and Assassin's Creed VP extraordinaire. This dude has fantastic photos. Regardless, you can't even, honestly, you can't even really compete in some matters. I try to, but it's a little bit difficult. I ain't gonna lie. So I just want to go ahead and bring him onto the stage. Hello, Retro.
What's going on, you guys, man? What's going on? I'm glad that you guys had me on this podcast, man. I saw it last week, and I was kind of like, man, I want to come on it sometimes too. But kind of glad that you guys got me on here, man.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone who is watching or listening in, there'll definitely be links to Retro's socials, Twitter or X, depending on what you want to call it, as well as Instagram.
Yeah.
Definitely give him a follow. He has amazing pictures, and he was able to provide some of those pictures for the thumbnail, which has been fun.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into it, I guess.
Okay,
jump right
sounds
on
good.
in.
All right.
All right. So I just want to go ahead and ask, considering the fact that we do have Last of Us Remastered 2 coming out, we got Spider-Man New Game Plus. I mean that's going to be major too, and
Yeah.
even games like Suicide Squad, and I mean we have a lot of other games coming out this year. So it's pretty big stuff happening this year.
Yeah.
With all those things coming, in what ways do you think that it might affect the virtual photography community, whether that be, you know, what people decide to shoot, if they start changing up their styles a bit, if they start maybe deciding to play a different game than what they normally do? I mean,
Right.
do you think this might be where people even stop shooting what they used to? You know, how do you think that this would end up changing things?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I just say a positive. I just say I'm on the positive side. I'm not nothing on the bad side. I'm all for the positive side. I think that's going to help a lot of people as far as like people who's just now starting, who just now starting, getting on the scene. I think that the diversity, especially with Suicide Squad coming out, not a lot of DC fans, take a lot of flicks. You know what I'm saying? So that
Right.
coming out is going to help somebody who want to start. They can start right now. This New Game Plus, Spider-Man 2. Everybody should know that's like one of the main things that a lot of people are waiting on. Not only that they adding some updates and trying to fix the game or whatever like that, but shoot, I don't think nothing's changed on the Spider-Man 2 part. I think that community by itself is like so big, gigantic that it's just going to help it out, make it more bigger, I guess. And The Last of Us, I don't take VP in that, but just seeing the survival mode, that made me want to start playing it. Like I was like,
Right.
oh, I got to get that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's an example of somebody. New coming to the scene. I'm new to The Last of Us, so I have not played no. I played Uncharted. You know what I'm saying? Uncharted, all the Uncharted stuff, but I have never played The Last of Us. I'm not saying that like I didn't want to, but it was just like I never really got a chance to. So with the remaster coming out and them adding the survival mode, some people only want to play for that for that reason because The Last of Us has been on how long, for a little minute now. But
Yeah, I mean, I think The Last of Us has probably been out about what was it, like 2013, something like that?
Are you talking about
so-
2 release or is the first
Uh,
release?
Just like the first release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've never, I don't know the story, the background. So I'm gonna hop onto it. I'm gonna start on, and that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna start doing VP in that too. But it's a positive thing for everybody this year. I feel like that's a positive thing. It's bringing more insight and more awareness. And hey, this is virtual photography, so I think it's a good thing, man. I'm kind of
Okay.
excited on a lot of parts for that.
So in 2013 was The Last of Us, the first one was released. Yeah.
Oh, so I was right. Ayo.
There we go.
Wow, that's crazy.
On the money, and I didn't even play it like that.
So have any of you played it before? Like, have y'all, I know a few of my homies played it before, but I have never got it. Have you guys played it?
So have you played it?
I played
yeah.
the first 2 hours of one. I've not played anything else since then. It was at my friend's house. He got it. He's like, "Hey, you should play it." Yeah, I had was over,
Right.
and I played it, and then that was it because I didn't really own a PlayStation until I moved out to my parents' house, and that was after getting some money in the bank to be able to purchase that. So I'm very, very behind the times on consoles and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't really play it too much.
Gotcha.
I honestly I started it. I think I maybe watched like a cutscene, moved like 2 steps, and just had to go somewhere and completely forgot to play it after that. So
Hmm.
I don't think I really touched it like that. But I mean, honestly, it's not
I hope it's
entirely
good,
my kind
man.
of game, right? I mean, it looks like a good
Yeah.
game, but it's not
Hmm.
entirely my style, I guess. So it just I guess it wouldn't appeal to me. And that actually, that kind of brings up a question is that if this may not have appealed to you at one point, do you think that maybe someone who might not have been appealed, but now that they're in the world of virtual photography in the community, that since they're seeing this be such a popular thing, do you think that's going to affect them maybe wanting to start taking pictures of it and just playing it for that reason alone?
Yeah. Yep. Because that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, hey, well, there's our answer. Yeah.
that's, hey, that's I'm being dead serious. Like being real honest. Like that's really
Hmm.
I like survival shooter games. Like I don't got too much of like Ghost Recon. I play that. But I haven't made no VP in that. But I feel as if that just just for that reason, a lot of people are going to play it just so they can take
Right.
pictures in it, or if they want to just play it over. I mean, but from what I've been hearing, a lot of people already done play the game, so they're like, "Why is it?
Hmm.
Why is there a remaster coming out?" But
Right.
I'm new to the scene, so I know I'm not the only one who's new.
hmm
Yeah, of course, of course.
most definitely.
So I do have actually another question. I wanted to go ahead and ask, do you think, now I know you said that it's a positive for new people. Now,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for veterans, do you think that this will affect them in a positive or negative way?
Um, mm, I think that I feel like it'd be a neutral thing. Like it wouldn't probably
Yeah,
change. I don't know.
yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
think it probably would change. I don't know because if they're a veteran, right, that means that they already
Hmm.
been taking pictures in that game and they'd already
Yeah.
done had a fair share of going through the game or whatever like that. So I
Well, I
think what they
guess, sorry, I
Mhm.
didn't mean to cut you off. I guess I
Yeah,
meant
go ahead,
more
bro.
so just like a veteran MVP and maybe not so much as that game in particular or whichever games that we're mentioning.
Oh, so you saying like if they already been doing VP or whatever like that, do you think that's
Hmm.
a positive thing for them? Like they can
Yeah.
start a new game? Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah, yeah.
maybe that they could start a new game, but do you think, considering the fact that because not everybody wants to change, right?
Yep, yeah, you're right.
So, with that being said, do you think maybe because a lot of us do post on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that might even end up having a negative impact on some people who don't want to change their games, even though
Yeah,
these games are going to be such a smash hit and they're going to be things that everybody's looking for. I mean, they might be afraid that it could hurt their numbers even. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you know.
yeah. I think uh when you say it like that, I think you're completely honest. For people who
Mhm.
think like that, you know what I'm saying? For people who
Mhm.
think like that and got that mindset, you right about that because at the end of the day, they may think like, okay, hey, this might hurt my numbers, this might hurt my interactions, my my
Mhm.
followers may not, you know what I'm saying? So if someone's been strictly posting something like for years, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like for a long time, then they just all of a sudden switch up the feedback they may get, they may not like that. So I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that.
Cool. Cool. And Seven, you got anything in particular that might be kind of tickling your brain a little bit about this?
Yeah, I think it would actually talking how it's like, hey, I've been strictly on Last of Us, but then there's going to be some fresh people coming in, that might hurt my
Hmm.
numbers, as Retro
Right.
said. I personally
Yeah.
think that might in that situation that's going to be hurtful for them, but actually competition it spurs
Hmm.
creativity.
Okay.
And I personally think it's actually a good thing. Sure, they might have a monopoly, so to speak, quote unquote, on that, but having fresh people and having fresh perspectives, that could push their VP to the next level that they've been struggling with for the year, because they're like, oh, this person has it this way. Because again, going back to the VP awards from episode 1, there's so many angles you could do, and these were from all sorts of people, and they're like, okay, you could get some ideas from them how they did that, and I think it is actually for the best, actually.
Yeah. Now, once you see it from like that standpoint, that's another thing. It brings out a lot of, I say, creativity. It allows you to say, hey, what can I do to make my pictures better? Make my flicks better. You know what I'm saying? It's a self-evaluation point. That's all. Sometimes bringing more people on to make you expand your mind. So you're right about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's very true. Honestly, I can agree on all those points as well. I mean, I can say, at least on my end, just that having been in social media maybe not too long in comparison to some people, but coming onto the scene and having a main, I guess if you want to say it that way, a main subject that I shoot, which would be Spider-Man, I can definitely see how when you switch up to another game,
Right.
the numbers can drop, right? This is something that does happen, but I do believe, at least in my personal opinion, that it shouldn't deter anybody from trying to shoot a new game.
Right,
You know,
son. Right.
I don't think that it should make it to where you start making your decisions based on your
Oh,
numbers
yeah. Right. That's what I was about to say.
rather than trying to just be creative and doing something that you actually like to do because you love it, you know.
And that's another subject that that's tickling me too. Like people, always be worrying about, like when they first start off, they want the interactions, they want the likes, they want the comments and all that stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? But man, you gotta realize, like, it shouldn't be that shouldn't be your drive, because at the end of the day, it'll start to die down for you, because it start to feel like it's just a job. It's not like something that you love to do. This got to be something that, no matter what somebody else think, if they like it or not, you still should post it. You still should put it out there, and still should get it to the point that, it shouldn't matter if someone's liking it or not. You feel what I'm saying? And so much people, they be heavy on that when they first start off, and you can't be like that, man, because it ain't really go playing out right for you. It's like it's go burn out,
Yeah, I get you.
Right? Gotta just enjoy it, just enjoy it. Just take pictures, man, have fun.
For sure. Yeah. So I know that we were mentioning Suicide Squad is coming out, and everybody is all up in arms over just everything about that game right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I know this game may or may not have a photo mode. We don't have any specifics on that just yet. But with it, if it didn't have a photo mode, right?
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah,
Now,
that hurt them bad.
yeah. Now, if it didn't, I mean, do you think that people would still maybe try to shoot it?
I don't know how, with all that action and all so much of the shooting and guns blazing. I don't know how you'd be able to stop certain keyframes and pause it and make it look good. I don't know how you'd be able to do that. You have to have some. You have to probably be on PC probably, but not everybody got a PC.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
don't know how
the Spider-Man too. I've seen San OG and some of the guests when they're in the fight mode, that freezes frames. Does Suicide not have that?
So we're not certain yet.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't know yet.
we don't know if it has a photo mode yet, because if it doesn't, then
that's gonna suck, man.
Right. But at the same
that's
time,
gonna
there's so many people who actually take photos without a photo mode.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I have seen that too.
I mean, they do phenomenal jobs at it. I mean, it's honestly pretty incredible to
It,
see what people can do in that moment.
Assassin's Creed Unity is a game that I wish Assassin's Creed Unity in 3 is
Hmm.
games in Black Flag 2. I wish I had photo mode because I got some Unity shots that I took that um it required me to do a lot of, I don't know how you can say, like, playing with it so I can get
Hmm.
a proper photo. So you
Hmm.
can do it, but bro, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's like especially with Unity, man. Like, I wish they had a photo mode because that game. I wish they had a remaster. That's like one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. That's like the core
Oh, okay.
Assassin's Creed game, and I wish that they had a photo mode in that. I wish they did, man. Because if Suicide Squad don't have one,
Hmm.
hey man, they gonna have some complaints. Because I know I'm gonna say something about it. I'm gonna say something about it, bro, for real. Because it's a promising game from what I've heard and seen and whatever like that. But
Hmm.
as far as like photo mode, I feel as if that today's age and what's going on, I think that a lot of games they should implement photo mode off the start. They should put photo mode as a main thing to show in their games, because not only is that allowing players to promote their games, but man, you get a lot of fan base off there. I feel like Insomniac really got a lot of people, not only because of the game, but the photo mode, just taking pictures and be able to do what you want to do, got people want to play the game too, so they can start taking their own pictures. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like Suicide Squad, I pray that you guys have photo mode, because that's gonna hurt them, in my
Yeah.
opinion. That's just one person saying that, but in my opinion, I think that it's gonna probably be like a little nitpick, like something that probably people will talk about.
Right. So actually, that does bring up another question. So with many of these games starting to have photo modes now, and some of these other games not having photo modes, right? Do
Hmm.
you think that it's going to maybe have a push for photo modes to be a regular, if not mandatory, thing for games?
Yeah, yeah. I feel as if that the way that, especially like last year, I don't know, maybe because I just stepped on the scene last year, but I feel like last year was like a big, like people was getting on to the virtual photography word. You know what I'm saying? So I feel
Hmm.
like throughout the more times and things that go on, I feel as if that game companies have realized, like, hey, we need to start implementing that, putting that in there, because shoot, I didn't realize Uncharted, they had the photo mode since they came out, like since they had Uncharted 4 on
Right.
PS4, they had that out. So it was like people games was already doing that. So
Hmm.
I feel as if that sometimes we just didn't notice, So I
Yeah.
feel as if
Yeah.
that I think that they'll do their thing, I just hope that that's like something that they should always look at having.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like it's very important, man. I don't know. I just feel like it's very important for content creators, all that.
Right. And Seven, what do you think about that?
I would
Just in
say
reverse.
important might be slightly that for me is a little bit too heavy.
Okay.
Highly suggested. So that's sort of like a step down from like needed, and the reason is because they've been like our two last guests, they've been showcased by developers, Ubisoft, and all that in Times Square, all that, and it would definitely help. But as required, it could be, even though virtual photography is nice to have, it could be the game cannot afford having that extra resource in the game.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
it
I
will
got you.
definitely
See, I didn't
help.
think about that. Right,
Yeah,
right,
it will
right, right.
definitely
Some people don't have
help.
the resources to.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely help,
Right.
because then you have virtual photographers promoting your game, and they're like, oh, that's actually inside the game itself. Okay, I want to go try it out.
Yeah.
Right,
Marketing
right.
purposes, it would help, but
Mm-hmm.
then resources might not be viable for that game. So,
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
maybe like indie games might not be able to do it all the time, but
mhm.
do you think maybe like AAA titles might be a
Mm-hmm.
situation where, okay, maybe
Highly
about,
suggested again.
yeah,
It
like
would definitely
right,
help you
exactly.
if you want to go
Yeah.
into the marketing space, especially with VP growing and all that.
Right.
It would, if you have the resources, it would be, in my opinion, dumb to not have that because
Right.
you're just
Yeah.
reaching a larger audience. But again,
Mhm.
it's up to the people who are developing and all that who want to focus on what they want to prioritize.
Right. Gotcha. Now I'm gonna go ahead and shift this over to New Game Plus. That's a little bit different than having, a remastered or something
Mhm.
like that coming.
Could you give a
Um,
brief rundown what New Game Plus means for those who are not familiar with that term is?
of course. So, New Game Plus is basically where you have a game that once you finish it, you can go back and replay throughout the game with any and all upgrades and such. Well, depending on what the company allows for the game, of course, right? But most, if not all, of your upgrades will come with you on the next new game that you start. So that allows, at least for virtual photographers, where let's say you have things like skins or certain abilities and everything that you would like to capture during the game that you couldn't do early in the game, right? But maybe you believe that, okay, this skin that I got towards the end of the game and this ability that I got towards the end of the game would look really cool in this beginning area that I have during the start. So New Game Plus will allow you to have, some other options that you didn't have originally, and games without New Game Plus obviously can't do that, right? Unless they allow for things. I'm not sure if maybe there's some kind of unlock system, but most of the time you wouldn't be allowed to do that kind of thing. So, with all that being said, how do you think that New Game Plus affects community for virtual photographers and what they decide to shoot? Either
Shoot.
anybody.
Yeah, I got you. Like it expanded. I mean, I talk for me. I say for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it helped me out because it made me be able to create shots that I can't even make already.
Right.
For example, like give a like another playthrough. For example,
Mm-hmm.
do with one certain skin, one certain costume,
Mm-hmm.
just take shots. So that's allowing people who already gonna establish themselves to continue doing the same thing they've been doing, but
Mm-hmm.
at a more enjoyable. I say, for me, it'd be more enjoyable. I don't know. Some people don't nitpick. Some people don't care, but I
Right.
just don't like that. Like if my suit stays the same,
Mm-hmm.
let's change it. Let's change it, man, so I can take some shots in this. So it's like
Right. Right.
a little nitpick, but I mean, some people don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as if that update would really not only time of day, change the time of weather, make people take better shots in like the rain, for example, like me. I want to take shots in the rain. So that helped a lot of people out, especially in the, already in the Spider-Man community. We
Mm-hmm.
already got people who just love taking shots. So dying for the photo mode. That's not even for the photos. Some people just want to play the game the way they want to play it.
Right. Right.
So that's gonna help them out. That's gonna help out a lot. It's gonna can't wait for the other update also.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and Seven, do you think even just for amateur virtual photographers, people who don't really take it that much, do you think that might maybe change what they want to start shooting, or what kind of
Mhm.
effect do you think it might have on them?
Well, if they're starting to learn, I think it will give them more tools to their belt, especially as you said, you play the game and then there's a suit. It's like, oh man, that would have been a cool shot at the beginning and all that.
Right.
What's interesting is that I had a question. I was like, why are they releasing the ability to New Game Plus? Don't most games nowadays have triple and usually have the
Mhm.
New Game Plus feature released? Why
Already,
is there a
Yeah.
delay? That's what I'm
yeah,
Yeah.
questioning is like
yeah.
why
Mhm.
was there a delay in that
Right.
feature?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's something that I really a lot of people been talking about. Like a lot of people have been, just saying stuff about. And I mean, I agree, but
Hmm.
it's hard, man. For like we outside looking in, us consumers, we don't know how it's like for developers to go through these game cycles and
Hmm.
have so much pressure on them to make these games. So
Yeah.
I agree with it, but I'm not that group that send death threats and stuff like that. It's like, hey man, it's okay. Like it's gonna be all right. Like it's going to like let them try to continue, doing what they can do. That's all I can say. Control what you can control, but I do wish that they, did it at, you know what I'm saying, like had it with the game when it came out. But we'll never know why it didn't came out at the same time. What can we do?
Yep. What about
It
you, son?
sucks, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can definitely speak from a personal perspective that, for one, I agree with you in 7. I don't know why they didn't have New Game Plus in the, jump for Spider-Man at least. I mean, I understand why. I have, looked into some of the news on it. I do know that, they had a certain time frame and everything to get it released. They didn't really even talk about what actually was happening behind the scenes between them and Sony prior to releasing it, which in my opinion was a very smart move. But outside of that, if it had released, I think that it would have made it to where, like, granted, Spider-Man is already huge on the scene of virtual photography, but I think it would have pushed it even further. Just
yeah, it,
because.
it would have.
Oh
It
no,
would
go ahead.
have.
Yeah. Just because, in that game in particular, you have suits, you have abilities, you have, just different times of day, like Retro said, and weathers and things like that. I mean, and with New Game Plus, I do believe that they said they wanted to also bring out mission replayability. So, being able to go back to being able to go back to specific points in time in the game, and just having that option basically to set your scene, set your character, your subject, and have everything at your fingertips to go ahead and shoot. Like,
Perfection.
right, exactly. That instantly is just the perfect venue for a virtual photographer, in my opinion. You know.
Rudik said, I'm happy I got what I got. I'm happy they didn't delay Spider-Man 2 until February just to wait for a New Game Plus.
Fair. Totally fair.
That's fair.
Also, there was a comment a little bit earlier, backtracking slightly on the content creation from outside people. Nash said, seeing content made by people outside the development team has definitely influenced me to watch/play, something I would not have otherwise taken a second look at.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And honestly, I think that right there, that is another huge thing that affects the virtual photography community, because when we as virtual photographers start taking photos of certain things, and especially if, let's say there is a major development, we start taking photos of it, we're advertising it, just like Nash said. Now Nash is looking at content created by people outside of the development team, and now that's making people like Nash want to either go play the game or view it, like view other people doing things on it, maybe even look at news and, buy it themselves, and that's honestly a huge thing.
And
And
here's the kicker. She's not a gamer herself.
Exactly.
And yet she is wanting to go and take a look at what the game is all about. So you're reaching a bigger audience, even though they're not gamers,
Which is a win for the game company all around.
Right, exactly. So I definitely believe that even New Game Plus and things like that, because it affects the virtual photography community, it affects folks outside of it just by association.
Right. I agree.
Which is amazing to even think about. That's wild to me. All right. Well, I definitely believe,
Sort of bouncing off a little bit. We were talking about new updates and all that. I know that you use mods, right, for your Spider-Man version. Is that correct, son?
So for the first two games, yeah, just because
Mhm.
there's some limitations in it.
Right.
I know, I know that those kind of, I mean, hey, like that's technically a major development in itself
Hmm.
because there's a lot of people, just to, I guess we're getting a shout out here. So people like Tango Ted, who is one of the big modding or big modders in the Spider-Man community. He has released a lot of suits that a lot of people enjoy, but when people like that start working on certain developments for the game and everything, once that gets dropped, I don't think it's maybe as big of an impact, but
Mm.
I definitely think at least within the community, it does have a little bit of a, a hit, a punch to it, because you'll have a suit come out and you'll start seeing virtual photographers shoot it. And then for people who do use mods, they'll look at it and be like, oh, snap, what's that suit? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It
Now,
makes them want to go download it.
the reason I asked if you use mods is because is it possible that with the New Game Plus update, would that affect
Mhm.
you had because I know JC is
Yeah.
also a person who does a little bit of photography on the side, but I've been
Mhm.
hearing him complain about when there's an update, his mods are pretty much shot.
Oh,
So how does that affect you as a photographer who uses mods? Would New Game Plus actually
yeah.
affect you in that regard?
Yeah, actually, it does. It does. It does impact us quite a bit for those who use mods because the moment, like you said, the moment that they release an update, because the mod it has been generated to work with whatever prior patch there was. So let's say you have a patch 1.1, right? The moment that 1.2 comes out, there's a very good chance that anything that is made for 1.1 is going to need an update, which means that we have to wait on the modders to update it. And if we upgrade to the new patch, if the modders haven't updated it yet, that mod's shot. It's over. You can't use it. And
Hmm.
the game basically, a lot of times, the game won't even start. Um, so yeah, that can really just throw off a virtual photographer's everything. I mean, I can't even bring out any specifics because if your game can't even start, then you can't shoot anything. You know,
Retro, do you use any mods or are you completely vanilla on your photos?
Retro, you there? Oh,
Oh, has
hello.
he?
I'm not
I
sure.
wonder if he has some mic issues in a second.
He might. Not sure if he's typing in the chat. Hold on.
And just a little bit
Oh,
shout out while
okay.
we're
He said
figuring
he can't
technical
talk.
issues. We just got someone who just stumbled on a. They said never knew about this channel, just found it via Twitter. So yeah,
Awesome.
Twitter works, guys.
Well, welcome. Welcome, new viewer.
Okay, then Rudix
Definitely
asks,
welcome.
this is a question for you, son. Are the
Okay.
mods just for suits or other effects?
So for Spider-Man, multiple. Um, snap. Oh my goodness, we're having technical issues all around. Um, there are multiple. There are actually both suits and weather changes and things like that that you can do. So it does actually make it where, scenery can be affected too rather than just suits.
Mm, okay.
Let me see something. Let me help out our friend here.
Yep. And so this segment here, everyone who's in chat, feel free to ask questions. I'll be reading the chat and seeing if there's anything you have questions for. But yeah, we are Pixel Focus. We try to do a weekly podcast for those who are new. Welcome. When we're talking about virtual photography. and updates and insight on things. The last episode, we were able to get 2 guests on and be able to get their input as we discussed the virtual photography awards, which was really fun to take a look at and all that. Retro, are you back? Are your mic?
Can you guys hear me?
There
he
we
is.
go. Perfect.
There he is. Awesome.
All right. So the
Nah,
question was to
fine.
you, Retro. Do you use mods for your photography or anything?
Mods?
Yeah.
Oh no, no, man. I don't. I use PS5 and PS4. I don't
Okay. Got it.
have a PC. I wish I had a PC because it's some suits, man, that I see some of these guys drop that is just straight up like, make me feel like a kid again. So I want to take pictures in it, but unfortunately, I don't have a PC,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't take it.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, later on, I do remember. I think we were talking about you gonna try to get one soon, so
Oh yeah,
you'll be
yeah,
able to
yeah.
soon, bro.
Yeah, I most definitely will, throughout my time doing this, I will try to upgrade and do PC and PlayStation 5. But hey, once you just said all that about like, once the new update just come out and like all that stuff just got me scared. It's like, what? Listen, check me out. If I can't start my game,
Yeah.
right? How am I going to take pictures? If I just have a PC, I'm SOL. I'm out of
Yup.
luck. So it's like I feel you on that, and it's like kind of like I don't want to spend that much money just for that. Not because it was one point in time before Spider-Man 2 came out. I was like, hey, I just want to get a PC just to take Spider-Man clicks and make the game faster, make them do all kind of tricks in the air. But once you just said that, it's like I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah, and I mean that's what we were saying, major developments, updates primarily, they can have some serious impacts on
Right,
PC
right.
virtual photographers. I mean, almost deadly to their content. So, not to say that it will make it to where they can't shoot anything, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thankfully, just for all those who don't know, you do have the ability to roll back your update. You don't necessarily have to stay with that update, even though it automatically did it. I'm not going to go into details on how to do so. You can go ahead and, look it up on YouTube. There's plenty of videos out there, but that is something that you're able to do.
Nice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Rudig's again asking towards sun. Is that why rain is so much in your pictures? I could not duplicate that in console.
No, actually, I go outside of the game sometimes and edit the rain in myself. I use different apps, like applications outside of the game, because the rain in the game is not that it's bad or anything, but for photos, it's not that great. So and especially, you can make the rain look good in the game. Don't get me wrong. It's very doable. It's just the fact that that's an entire other asset, primarily light, that you have to use in
Yeah.
order to do that. And that means that you can't focus on the subject or focus on what it is you're actually trying to light and get certain things you want. So I just, a lot of times now, as of recently, I didn't always do it, but now recently I've started to implement using things like PixArt and Photoshop to bring in rain rather than just focusing on it in the game.
Okay. So Retro, here's a
Oh.
question for you. This is from Gib84 Gaming, who's the one who posted about finding this show on Twitter. He says, other than Spider-Man games, what is your favorite games to snap?
God of War. Yeah. God of War, Assassin's Creed, Mirage, Valhalla. Let me just go back on that. I'm not a big Valhalla fan because it was an Assassin's Creed game, but that photo mode is gorgeous. The game itself is gorgeous. So I took some Assassin's Creed. Gotham Knights too. I love Gotham Knights. It was a sleeper for me, 2023. It was a big sleeper for me because I heard so much bad about it.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I didn't really step into it on my own. And it was like late December I started to mess with it. I like it a lot. Gotham Knights. I say there's one more game on my mind that I can't really get out, but I think that's really it. Oh, Red Dead. Red Dead. Yes,
Red
what it
Dead.
is.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
Red Dead. I haven't taken some in a long time. Like I'll probably say like a month, but I got some backed up that I love to. I love Red Dead, so that's kind of my top games. Oh, Ghost of Tsushima too.
Ooh,
That one
good
too.
one. Good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's pretty it though. I really don't have no other ones that I take photos in.
What about you, son?
Oh, what do I take photos in other than
Spider-Man.
what
Yep.
I mentioned?
Oh no,
Spider-Man. No.
the exactly. What is your favorite? What is your favorite games to snap? Sure, you
Yeah.
have other games
Favorite
that you
games.
snap in, but what's your favorite? I want you
Gotcha.
to
my favorite
rephrase.
game.
Yeah.
What's my favorite? Spider-Man.
Bro.
What other games do I take in other than Spider-Man? Spider-Man 1
This guy.
and Miles Morales. I mean, those are technically 3 different games. You got Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man
Oh,
Remastered,
man.
Spider-Man 2.
This man's something else, man.
No,
He's
no, no, no.
something else, bro.
But nah, if
Oh,
I'm being
snap.
honest, if I'm being really honest,
Mhm.
I I love taking shots in Spider-Man, but weirdly enough, if even though it's not like the one that I take the most of, and I know
Mhm.
this sounds weird, but I
Mhm.
love Ghost of Tsushima. I mean,
Yeah.
it's everything that I wish was in Spider-Man is in that game.
Okay.
Talk about
And
it.
I'm just like, I mean, you got the being able, I mean, you can change the time of day
Take this down.
and the weather
Take this
in
down.
the photo mode.
Take this down.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is
Crazy.
something I do not see on almost any game.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few. I mean, if they're out there, somebody please let me know which ones they are. But yeah, no, other than that, I mean, you have time of day in that. The aperture is way better in that game. You have filters that, yes, I do like the Spider-Man filters. It's just that there's only like a few that I use. In Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like I can use almost every single filter and it'll have a completely different like effect to it.
Outcome. Yeah.
I definitely think that it'll have plenty of other things, but anyway, let me not get too far into Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, no, definitely that one is probably my favorite. If you wanted another favorite, it would be Star Wars. I believe it's not Fallen Order is the other one. Trying to remember what
Jedi
it's called.
Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jedi Survivor is definitely my other go-to, just because I mean I was kind of struggling with it at first, but once I got through it, ooh, that game's photo mode is so good.
Real?
Oh, the amount of things you can do in there are ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too far into that. I actually wanted to go ahead and ask Retro.
Yeah.
Retro, question.
Yes, sir.
If you could drop one game or had to,
Oh
and then
man.
pick up another one, what would those be?
Drop it for another one.
Yep. You drop one game that you take pictures of now and pick up a different one.
Ah. Ah. Mm. It would probably be, man. I don't want to say it, man. I don't
Oh,
want to say that.
oh,
Okay. It'll be Gotham Knights. I drop that. I drop
okay.
Gotham Knights, and I pick up. I've been seeing a lot of people dabbing in what you just said, Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
feel it. I probably I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but
Hmm.
that game I do like a little bit of that, a little bit
Yeah.
of it. So I could see myself taking pictures of that in the future. Probably like if I was like getting the game on sale or something like I just got bored
Hmm.
because I tend to do that. I tend to go in the PlayStation Store and just buy games sometimes and just try it out. So
Yep.
I drop Gotham Knights sadly and do Jedi Survivor.
He said sadly.
I do it. I do it. But nothing else can go though. Like Not
Got you.
Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, none of that, none of that.
All right, we
you.
just got a comment from Ultravioletra. Retro, I
Ooh,
love your
indeed.
cherry red and sharp captures you take of Spider-Man.
Oh,
I just know when
that-
it's a retro shot, and I agree with Sun OG. Ghost of Tsushima is a phenomenal game to capture. The Doug died. Yeah. And we do have another
Oh, that-
question from Rudigs. Do you do other game photo modes let you take control of lighting like Spider-Man? Do I jump in when I jump in other photo modes? They don't. They lack the 3-point lighting system.
Is that a question for Sun or
That's for
which
both
one?
of you.
Mm.
I'm gonna let you go first, G.
Oh, okay, so I know some things do. I know that Jedi Survivor does, but if I'm being honest, oh, and then also because it's an Insomniac game, the Ratchet and Clank game, I think it's called Rift Apart, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe that also does. I think I've seen people take shots in that with it. So I can't say, oh, actually, you know what? I think Last of Us 2 has it as well.
Real?
Yeah, I think Last of Us 2 has a lighting system. I don't know if it has 3.
Okay.
I don't know if it has 3, but I do know that it has a lighting system. And then the only other things I could really think of are like some PC games that you can, well, not specific PC, but like Cyberpunk, for example, you can mod in lighting systems. I know that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there's that. Do you know any others, Retro?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, bro. They got 3 lights. Actually. That's why I kinda say like I kinda fell in love with their photo mode. Cause
Mm-hmm.
bro, you can take some real good shots. I got some shots that I don't even post it, but you can take some real good shots in
Yeah.
Gotham Knights, but that's the only one I know. As far as like a good lighting system.
Right.
Like a Somniacs one. I think only Gotham Knights for me. And I don't really know. I wish God of War had it though, but God of War don't,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. That's really it. That's all I know.
I'm not even gonna
Ultra
go in there.
says Ratchet and Clank has it. She thinks.
Oh, and
Yeah.
also my bad to interrupt. I want to say hey to UV. Hey UV, that's my dog.
Yeah.
She be showing support and stuff like that. So hey, how you doing?
We have
Hey,
a comment
UV.
from Javik12. Hello, first time here, and so welcome. Yeah, we got
Welcome,
someone
Javik.
new.
Yeah, that's the homie.
yeah. That's, bro,
That's pretty cool.
he posts some good shots too, man. Some like good Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
shots too when he won.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Javik's pretty good too.
Very cool.
I wish other game companies though had like the lighting system too.
Yeah.
Like another game I wish had that was Days Gone. I didn't know. I know I didn't say that, but I used to play that a lot, and I took like a
Right.
few pictures in it, but just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Alright,
Retro. I've asked this to all Sonoji as well as his guests that he's invited. So I'm going to ask you. It's going to be just a trend that's going to happen. What's the top 3 things when you're making a shot? What's the first 3 things that you look for? Do you go for lighting settings? Do you go for aperture? Or the first 3 steps that you do to make a photo shot?
Why am I acting like I'm surprised about this question?
I feel you on that, G. I feel because it's like man, like because sometimes I can say that it's a mix. Like I don't know. It depends on the picture. Sometimes the first thing I look for is the lighting. I want to make sure how it looks. The composition too, how the picture looks. I'm always breaking my neck, so I try to.
Vertical shots.
I'm always breaking my neck, bro. I'm actually doing some neck workouts to help me, but I'm always breaking my neck. So it's composition and lighting for me. I say those
Not
two.
this man doing neck workouts so that he can take pictures.
I'm taking better pictures. I go to my chiropractor.
Oh my god! This man said, "Let me put a 10-pound weight on my neck and lift it up every 40 seconds while taking
man,
this shot."
listen. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to tell everybody that. But yeah, hey y'all, it's getting that real.
No. Let me say this. Retro is real for that. Retro is completely real. And if anybody says otherwise, you're stupid. That is probably one of the rawest things I have ever heard for virtual photography. Okay. So all of y'all, hey, listen, like I said, this show is for insights. Okay.
Yep.
Insights,
Insight.
which
Come get
means that Retro just gave y'all a little gym there. Okay. Y'all need to start going to the gym, getting your neck workout in, so that
So you
when
can
you
get
start
to,
looking at
yeah,
those vertical shots, you
it
can
won't
get it
hurt.
and not get tired, Brody.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Talking
saying?
about, man, take your stuff, Retro. Say your thing.
Hey man, you was something else though, but real talk though, I say lighting and composition. I don't really I care for the aperture word. I don't know, that's another thing. I didn't know how to say it. But the aperture thing. Because like sometimes you don't want to make things too blurry. I still like to see some detail, but it depends on the mood of the picture. You know, if I want to just do like a main focus on the character, then I'll do that.
Right.
But
Okay, now following up, film
Mhm.
grain or no film grain?
No fill green. No
I
film.
don't
I
know,
don't like. I
man.
don't like.
Tim be going crazy with the film grain though.
Shoot, hey, I see this. I see this. I see this. It depends on the picture. I see that because like, because sometimes I make it zero, but I'm still learning at the same time. So sometimes I add it and be like, oh wow, that made the picture actually way better. You know. So I guess it kind of depends on the picture sometimes. You know.
Mhm.
I feel that.
We have a few
Uh,
comments. Retro is just different, I swear. Neck exercises, you know he is serious. This will make his shots
Hey.
even crazier, not gonna lie. We will all have thick necks after this.
Yeah, we all gonna start practicing the same thing, and whoever see that's the only bad part is you gonna start seeing people with muscles on the like one side of their neck.
Yeah, you gotta be
Like
careful,
they
man.
always
Yeah.
turn that way, so they're like, "Oh, let me go and exercise this side so I don't get tired."
Hey, yeah,
Mhm.
you gotta be careful with that, man. You ain't trying to get
Yeah,
stiff neck, you know.
yeah.
What is the applications for using film grain?
Oh, so film grain is actually already in most of the photo modes. It's not really like an outside thing. Like there are applications that have it. I don't know exactly which ones. I'm sure,
I guess more like
Adobe has it.
why would you use film grain versus not use film grain?
Oh, uh, okay. So if you want to have your photo maybe have, I guess with the title itself, a more, filmic kind of look, you can use it that way. I know that a lot of people use it for like, I think it's Batman Arkham Knight. Um, but in my opinion, for what I use it for, I use it a lot of times when I'm doing pictures with like smoke because it adds texture to the smoke rather
Mm.
than because a lot of times in games, the smoke that you see when you start putting lights on it, if it has custom lighting, or
Yeah.
even if it's just the daytime lighting and things like that, it has this really smooth texture all the way throughout, which if you look at smoke, it's a tiny bit grainy, just a
Yeah,
little bit,
it is.
not
It is.
not too grainy, but it has it.
Yeah, no
Mm.
lies detected. I didn't really think about it like that, but once you say it like that, that makes a lot of sense. No cap.
Yeah, so that's why I use it at least. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's so many other ways to go about it. I'm sure there's plenty of other things you can use it for. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things you can use it to like enhance your photo in some kind of way. And
Yeah.
I'm certain that a lot of abstract people probably use it heavily in some fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen some people make shots look a little bit more dark, have a bit more of a moodiness to them by using film grain.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Violetra says film grain fixes light imperfections in photography
Oh,
sometimes.
see, there it is. There's another one.
Okay. Okay.
So
See,
yeah,
you be dropping dimes.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. That's what this whole
Yeah.
entire show is about. We dropping insights, dimes, jewels, and gems. By the time that we're finished, we gonna be rich for real. Like we can take all that to the bank, bro.
And speaking of which, we need to wrap up this episode of and so Retro, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. Where can people find you and all that?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, ThatGuyRetro23. Yeah, you can just come look at me, come holler at me
Very cool.
if you want to.
And definitely check if you're watching on live right now on YouTube, check the description. Just click on the arrow down below. I've linked all his socials right there. Definitely give him a follow. Son, do you have any final remarks until we say goodbye?
We buff neck out here now. Like for real, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like we really about to be different out here. Like, we're not playing no more.
Yeah,
we all
get in the
about to
gym,
be
man.
having 6-packs on our necks, bro. Like I'm trying to tell you.
No cap.
Anyway,
Like,
that's all
hey.
I got.
All right. Well, I'm in Seven Specters. My co-host is Sun OG. This is Pixel Focus, episode 2. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.